I show you my stuff with DM Scotty.
Hey guys, DM Scotty here. Good to have you with me. Today I want to talk about a chase encounter that I did that was with a black carriage, a large black carriage. Now the piece is totally 3D, so that's why I really haven't shown it before, but I did this encounter quite a while ago, and we had a lot of fun doing this encounter. So I wanted to show you this black carriage, and might inspire other people to do this kind of like chase scenes in their games. A little bit of setup. The nobles who owned these black carriages were actually a family of werewolves. They had lycanthropy, but they could control their changes because they kind of succumbed to the evil, and so they could control it. So they'd been discovered, and they were trying to flee the area. So I actually had multiple black carriages that the family had packed everything up and was trying to flee. So the players were trying to chase them down and stop them before they could escape. So let's go to the table and I'll show you this really cool black carriage. So here we go. I've set up a little bit of the encounter. You can see I've got the road underneath, the black coach, and I have the players in hot pursuit. And I've got the players mounted on the horses just like I do in my mount video. They're just on the back of the base there to show that they're mounted. So with this encounter, it was really fairly easy for the players to catch up because they were on single horses, where the whole encounter here hinged on these horses pulling this large carriage. So it was, the carriage, I said, would generally go slower, so it was fairly easy for the players to catch up. So, but this is, the carriage is like a mobile platform. So, as the players are riding up, to attack, the archers can shoot at them from the cart. We've got several drivers or several people up front. So one's driving, one is like kind of guarding up front. So let me give you a little bit of a closer look at the carriage here. Now you've seen it kind of in the encounter context. Okay, now the carriage itself is on its own base. Okay, so you can see that lifts off. This is just a cardboard base, and I added texture to the base. All right, and the reason I did that is because if they manage to turn over the carriage, it separates from the horses, so it just lifts right off. Okay, and you can see the harnessing here is it's just a stick with two crossbars, and these are Citadel Chaos horses, and I just had it so they would basically go over the saddle where the saddle was. So that worked out really nicely as far as like just doing the hookup. Now they could also, if they killed horses, it was very easy to take the horses off. I could just lift the horse right off, and then the cart would slow down or whatever. So depending on how this encounter goes, players could ride up, try to attack the wheels, and whatever system you have, or whatever system you're playing, whatever it takes to damage inanimate objects, that's essentially what it would be. So they could attack the wheels, they could try to kill the kill the guards, that kind of thing. Now, the encounter was that it was a family of werewolves nobles who were werewolves who had learned to control their lycanthropy, so they could change whenever they wanted. So they were in the carriages, and if the carriages went down, they would come out, or they could jump out and get on the back here and fight and claw at the players as they tried to get on, or come up here and maybe jump on the back, and try to climb up and fight. They could do that kind of thing. So now the carriage is a bit bigger than it might be, but remember that you want to think about playability, and I was really trying to think about playability when I created this. If you make the thing too small, it may not be enough room for the playability. Okay, so let me show you a few features of this carriage. I'm going to take the guys off just to make it easier. Okay, and so like I said, this lifts off. So if this was damaged, if the wheel was damaged, then I would have the driver make checks, and if he failed, the cart might go out of control and like flip over, and then the werewolves might come out and all that kind of thing. So essentially I just made a box, okay? And all this detailing here is just cardboard and cardstock. Now the red windows here are just hot glue gun. The wheels I did do out of Sculpey, but you could easily do them out of cardboard too. And then we'll move around to the front here. I did a few pieces of wood holding up the driver station here, and then I had the piece that was the harness, the hitch. I also did a few pieces of wood across where the wheels are on the bottom, so because I figured the cart would flip over at some point, so I wanted to have that detail on there, but that's not something you'd have to put. So yeah, all the rest of this stuff though, there's a few pieces of wood, and then all the rest of the stuff is cardboard. So all this window detail, this is just hot glue. This is all cardboard. The back door here is all cardboard. The trap door at the top is all cardboard, and so forth and so on. And you could even make, I didn't do this, but you could even make a 2.5 interior version of this if you thought that the fighting would go inside. Mine never did, but if you thought that could happen. So there we go. There's a nice black carriage, and you know, it's totally removable from the base. The horses can be killed or taken off, but the base really helps with the movement. So if you need to move this thing, you can move the whole apparatus at once, as opposed to trying to move, you know, all the pieces individually. And you know, you could hook the horses to it, but I wanted to have them separate for the reasons that if a horse got killed, you could remove it. So there we go. There's a nice black carriage you can make. Very easy and inexpensive to make. And I'll see you next time on The Craft. Hey crafters, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the DM's Craft. Make sure to subscribe, and I have tons of other videos, as you can see. I am the originator of the 2.5D method of crafting tiles. I also do dirt cheap terrain for the table. If all this intrigues you, make sure you check out all the videos below. Also, join my forum. We have lots of great crafters on there who give advice. I have a link above and below. And last but not least, remember, go forth and craft!